I call this meeting to an order from Madera County Transportation Commission Policy Board for March 22nd, 2023. And we have the roll call, please.
Commissioner Gallegos. Here. Commissioner Poitras.
Yes.
And let it be noted that Commissioner Poitras is appearing remotely and he's on MCTC business. Commissioner Poitras, do you have anybody over the age of 18 in the room with you?
Yes, I do. I have two individuals over the age of 18 with me.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez.
Here.
Commissioner Rogers.
Yes, here.
Vice Chair Gonzalez. Here. Chair Ahmed.
Here. You join me for the pledge of allegiance. Sure. Ready, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
All items on the consent agenda are concluded by one public wishes to comment or ask question. You come.
To amend the State Route 99 Madera South project to include 5.47 million, $54.7 million for construction, and it's going to be shop funding. And so that action has not taken place yet. We were hoping maybe to celebrate with you all today, but looks like that might be taken either late this evening or this afternoon or tomorrow at some point. So we'll report that news back to you, but it looks like that project will be fully funded after today's or tomorrow's meeting to program $54.7 million of shop funding on that project. And so it's been a great effort with Caltrans District 6. They've been great partners on this project. They assisted over the last 8 to 10 months to try to prepare this for today's meeting. And we're keeping our fingers crossed here this afternoon. So this is just for information and discussion only.
Great. Don't forget to bring the cake when you're back in. Thank you. For moving on to item 5B, legislative update.
Yeah.
So with me this afternoon, I have Gus Corey from Corey Consulting, and he's going to go ahead and take the lead on this item. There's 4 items that we will be covering, and I am going to pass the phone off to him.
Thank you, Director Taylor. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. Gus Corey, Legislative Advocate for MCTC. Pleasure to be with you in a virtual fashion I'm also at the California Transportation Commission. Just a couple of items. This is an informational report. First and foremost, we're monitoring the governor's proposed fiscal year 23-24 state budget. In January, the governor said that we're forecasting a $22.5 billion deficit. That number has increased to about $26 billion. We're going to wait for the official numbers when the May revise is released on May 14th. We're looking for some solutions, even despite the deficit. Transportation is not dependent upon the general fund, which is a good thing. And so we're working with Senator Alvarado Gil, Senator Caballero to try to address one issue in particular. It's called the indirect cost recovery rate. This is a fee that self-help counties are charged for doing work on the state highway system. Up until last year, there was a cap of 10%. The legislature failed to extend that cap. And so that figure is expected to balloon to 27%, which for us on highway, for our highway project in Chowchilla is going to be about an $800,000 increase. And so the senator, along with several other members, including the Self-Help Counties Coalition, which we're a member of, is leading the effort. I'm helping to supplement those efforts. And so we hope to have a solution here sometime in June. The governor has called a special session on gas prices, given the gas price spikes in the fall. We are trying to monitor any impacts as far as taking away the gas tax at the pump, and that's because the gas tax is the primary source of funding that we receive for maintenance of local streets and roads, highways, and any kind of funding for projects such as, the South of Madera project that we've got going right now through Avenue 7 and 12. And so we need to make sure that those funds stay intact, especially since prospectively we're going to have to get away from the gas tax and convert over to factor in electric vehicles and the wear and tear that they provide on the road. Legislative items, just the main thing to pay attention to. The Brown Act, there will be some kind of a bill to try to modify proceedings going forward. We're operating under the 2449 world now, since the state of emergency declaration expired on February 28th. And our usage of AB 361, we'd have to have another state of emergency declaration to use that opportunity. And so the League of Cities, among others, are trying to pursue a bill to at least allow the non-legislative binding committees, so it could be exec committees, ad hoc committees, citizens advisory committees, to be exempt. That bill, that vehicle is AB 817. And it's authored by Assemblymember Pacheco. Regarding any kind of funding, I forgot to mention, Mr. Chair, given that the rainy day fund, even though we have a deficit, there's a $34.5 billion balance in the state rainy day fund. The governor says that we have to use $951 million to fund infrastructure. So we are working with our legislative delegation as well as other regions to put together a package to consider making continued investments on State Route 99, much like what we tried to do last year. Two other just quick notes. Our Valley Voice Trip, our annual Valley Voice Trip, I believe this is maybe our 14th year of doing it, is going to be on March 28th and 29th. We have a reception the night before, and then the 29th, we meet with our legislative delegation, members of the Newsom administration as well, to express our priorities as a region. This is building upon the legislative day that MCTC had on March 1st, where we met with our legislative delegation as well. And so we'll continue to fight to acquire as many state dollars to leverage our measure program and improve safety and mobility there. So in your packet, I do believe that you have a letter that we're asking for your authorization to send in supporting Senator Alvarado's Gill's efforts to retain that 10% cap for the indirect cost rate proposal. So that is the one action item, Mr. Chair. And I'll stop right there. I'm happy to take any questions or comments that you or others may have. Thank you.
Any question from the commission? Anybody from online?
We have one hand raised.
Hi, I actually had a comment for item 5A. However, I wasn't chosen to speak. Would it be okay to comment on this now, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So hello, my name is Madera, and I'm a policy advocate for Leadership Council. And for item 5A, I wanted to comment that this item constitutes yet another capacity expansion project along the 99 that would create capacity for more heavy-duty truck and vehicle traffic by adding 2 lanes along 5.8 miles of the 99 between Avenue 7 and Avenue 12, with Madera County currently entertaining a possible 3.5 million square foot distribution center along Avenue 7 and the 99. It seems clear as day that MCTC is planning to use Madera County taxpayer dollars and state funding on a capacity expansion project that would cater to bringing additional heavy-duty truck traffic to the county. MCTC has said publicly that our claim that Measure T funds are being utilized on expanding 99 is false. However, the agenda packet from this item clearly states that $9,000 in Measure T funds would be leveraged for this project. We request that MCTC eliminate the capacity expanding component from this project before requesting a CTC shop amendment. Local and taxpayer dollars should not be subsidizing the goods movement industry by paying for additional freeway capacity that will only induce additional demand for heavy-duty truck traffic. If we built it, they will come. And Madera County already has terrible air quality, and prior to the hospital's closure, one of the highest asthma-related emergency room visitation rates for children in the state. We cannot afford to build additional capacity for traffic, and there is no clear determination in the agenda packet about how the EV charging stations included in the project would tangibly improve the air quality or prevent an increase in emissions stemming from the project. Thank you.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Anybody else have any other questions or an update or like to comment? Anybody online? Thank you.
Motion to approve the letter.
I have the first, do I have the second?
Second.
I have the first and the second. Can we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Gallegos. Yes. Commissioner Poitras,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gonzalez. Yes. Chair Ahmed.
Yes,
Thank you. Motion carries.
thank you. With that, we're moving on to item number 5C, Cottonwood Creek groundbreaking ceremony. That's also information and
Yes,
discussion.
hi. Yes, hi, Mr. Chair. This item is basically for information and discussion only. We have not received full confirmation yet on the groundbreaking ceremony, but it looks like it is tentatively set for Thursday, April 20th at 10 a.m. And the Cottonwood Creek construction should be underway now. Caltrans representative there this afternoon will probably have additional comments. I know it was on again, off again due to weather. However, I believe that they were beginning their construction this week. There was a slight delay from Sunday. And so I have sent you information regarding the closures, and then we will continue to post online on all social media sites to alert our communities on any types of closures or construction activity that would be taking place out there. So this was just for information discussion only. When I receive confirmation about the groundbreaking ceremony, I will forward that all to you individually.
Thank you. With that, we're moving on to item number 5D, CalCog 2023 Leadership Forum Recap.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just included this item on the agenda as a recap for the CalCog 2023 Leadership Conference that took place earlier in this month. I just thought I'd give an opportunity to you and Supervisor Poitras to share any feedback with the group on the conference. Both you, Mr. Chair, and Supervisor Poitras were in attendance. So this is just an opportunity to provide any feedback you might feel necessary.
Thank you. I would just start out with saying, I had the opportunity to attend this CalCog summit with Supervisor Poitras and also our commissioner. It was great, and Patricia, our executive director, was also one of the forum. She did a great job representing the county, did the question and answers and everything. She also explain how, as a small self-help county, is able to, with the limited amount of dollars, how we can try to maximize our dollars when there is not much help available, even though the federal have a different point of view as compared to the local level at the state agencies, like on expanding lanes and EV charging and everything else. So all in all, overall, it was very productive and very well attended.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to add that it was apparent that all the other council of governments had similar concerns that we had, that we have as an MPO, as well as a county regional policy council, in terms of funding. How do we, there's all of these way out there types initiatives and aspirational type goals, but there's just no money to fund them, and to have to lay them out there and have all these aspirational requirements without funding, it's impossible to move forward. So there's definitely a disconnect, but I believe that the presenters, especially those from the state, received that message loud and clear. So but again, it was a good conference, and glad we were all able to attend.
Great. Thank you. With that, we're moving on to item number 5E, public hearing and adoption, Federal Transportation Improvement Program Amendment 3, FTIP Amendment 3, Regional Transportation Plan Amendment 1, RTP Amendment 1, and Air Quality Conformity Analysis.
Thank you. So for these items, we had 3 documents that were subject to amendment. As you just mentioned, in the title of all 3 of those. This required the conformity to be redone as part of the amendment. What we did is combine 2 projects into one. And this is what triggered us needing to make sure we do an air quality analysis for this project as well. And the air conformity document is the complete program of our projects analyzed under federal air quality requirements. So it's similar to what we do when we passed the original RTP last fall. Going through that process again as we changed one of the projects. We did have a 30-day public review period for these documents that began in February and ended just this Monday. We did receive one written comment from our partners at Caltrans headquarters air quality team, and it was related to Appendix A, just to make sure that we do include our signed resolution after adoption in the final product, as well as a couple of suggestions for additional references to the main body of the document itself. Appendix A is the conformity checklist. We're required to have that in the conformity document, and it basically serves to tell our partners where certain things in the conformity document are located, what page they're on. So the conformity document does contain everything that is required of it. They just have some suggestions to add a few more pages to the checklist. So we will respond in the final document with those additions that they informed us about. And there were no other comments received on the FTIP, the RTP, or the conformity during the public review process. So with that, we will we would like to ask you to open this up for a public hearing before you consider adoption of these amendments as final.
First, anybody have any questions before I open for the public? None, okay. With that, I open the floor for the public. Anybody wishing to speak to this item? Nobody online either? So, okay, with that, I close the public hearing, bringing back.
And then, so we have a resolution 23-02 that would final or take our drafts and turn them into final products, all with the single resolution.
I look for the motion for the resolution 23-02. Move. I have first, do I have a second?
Second.
I have first and a second. Can we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez? Yes. Commissioner Gallegos?
Yes.
Commissioner Poitras?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Ahmed?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Moving on to MCTC sitting as the Madera County Transportation Commission. Item 6, reaffirm all action taken while sitting as the Transportation Policy Committee.
Sure. I'll second.
I have a first and a second. Do we need the roll call for that?
Yes, sorry.
Please, go ahead.
Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Gallegos?
Yes.
Commissioner Poitras?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gonzalez? Yes. Chair Ahmed?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Moving to item number 7, administrative consent item. All items on the consent agenda are considered routine and non-controversial by MCTC staff and will be approved by one motion if no members of the committee or public wishes to speak, the comment or ask question. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered in the listed sequence with an opportunity for any members of the public to address the committee concerning the item before taking action. So with that, anybody wishing to speak or like to hold the item for further discussion?
This includes 7B, right?
Yes.
I have one quick question. Were there any exceptions on the audit?
No, there were not.
I knew that already. I just wanted to make it for the record for public.
Anybody else? And with that, we'll move to approve.
Second.
I have the first and the second. Or can we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
Commissioner Gallegos?
Yes.
Commissioner Poitras?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chair Ahmed?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you. Then moving to item number 8, administrative action discussion item none. And moving to item number MCTC sitting as the Madera County 2006 Transportation Authority. Item 9, authority administrative consent item. All items on the consent agenda are considered routine and non-controversial by MCTC staff and will be approved by one motion if no members of the authority or public wishes to comment or ask question. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered in the listed sequence with an opportunity for any members of the public to address the authority concerning the item before action is taken. That I open the floor for the public. Anybody wishing to speak or pull any item from the. So now let's close the public. Okay, and bringing back. I have first, we have a second. First and a second, can we have the roll call, please?
Vice Chair Gonzalez? Yes. Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
Commissioner Gallegos?
Yes.
Commissioner Poitras?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Chair Ahmed?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving to item number 10, authority action discussion, which is none, and moving on to other items. Item number 11,
miscellaneous
items from the staff, 11A.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring
Yes,
your,
Ms.
go ahead, Tricia.
No, it's all right. Go ahead, Troy. I'm good. Thank you.
I just wanted to bring into your attention, you just passed on the consent counter about the
Take care of it.
vacancies for the Citizens Oversight Committee. We have vacancies on District 5 and at large. We are advertising, we'll be advertising to fill those vacancies on the Citizens Oversight Committee. If you know anyone at large or in District 5, please refer them to fill out the application and we'll happy to consider.
Interesting, because they were the most vocal on Measure T, so we think they'd be interested.
Yeah.
Their representative has termed out, or he's getting ready to term out.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
So
been with us for 8 years.
okay,
we don't anticipate any issues filling that spot.
Okay.
So we'll see, but just bring it to your attention that
Right, thank you.
there's someone that wants to serve.
At large could be from any district.
At large could be from anywhere in the county, correct?
Anybody else from the staff? Patricia? You have anything to say?
No, I'm good, Mr. Chair. I've informed Troy that he had this item, so that's great. Thank you.
Thank you. So if no further item from the staff, then I move on to 11B, which is items from the council. Chair, members of the board. Okay.
Yeah, I just have some updates on Clean California. We're still in the call for projects window for Clean California Cycle 2. Applications are due April 28th. And then sustainable transportation planning grants. We did receive 16 plan applications district-wide, 2 in Madera County. One specifically Madera County and the other one in the city of Coachella. So we're in the process of reviewing those applications and we'll be scoring them by next week. We did receive one storm closure, Madera State Route 41 near Cedar Valley Road to Lewis Creek. It's closed down to 1 lane, just an FYI. I think Patricia already spoke on the Madera 6-lane widening. Skip that one. The Madera Cap M City Council recently approved a $30 million contribution to this project that additional police street components. A meeting was held with the city to discuss this additional work. The State Route 233 interchange improvement project. This is currently in design. We're shooting for a draft environmental document release in April. We are Caltrans is currently working on VMT mitigation to have that included in our environmental document. The Cottonwood Creek Bridge replacement, as Patricia was speaking about, a stakeholder meeting was held on Tuesday, March 14th. Construction and the closure of the southbound direct on-ramp from eastbound Avenue 12 is anticipated to begin this last week. So I believe it is currently in construction and groundbreaking is slated for April 20th. And then the Rancho's rehab project, pre-construction meeting is happening. It happened today. First working day is expected to start May 8th with a total of 225 working days. With that concludes the Caltrans report. Any questions for Caltrans?
Mr. Chair, if I may. The Green California grant, I know it's going through its second cycle.
Yes.
We had a report on this at our council meeting, but it says it's very competitive once you've been granted the first. How difficult is it for an agency or municipality to take on that second?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a little more difficult this cycle because the funding pot is much smaller. So they will scrutinize the project a little bit more, being that the pot is small. It's $100 million pot. Of course, some of that off the top is gonna be for administrative functions. So, but yeah, it's gonna be scrutinized a little bit more, and probably look at agencies that maybe weren't funded the last cycle.
So do you ever see that happen where you have two of those cycles be awarded to the same agency? Is that?
I personally would want to see that. I mean, we do review the projects here locally. We do put a team together to review all the applications that were submitted here in our district. We'll probably take that into consideration as far as scoring. And however, if an application was submitted the first cycle and wasn't successful, of course, we'll definitely take a look at that and put our 2 cents in to make sure that it's looked at.
Yeah, I know. Central Valley in general is a very, I would consider underserved area sometimes. And I think there's a need not only in all the 3 agencies that participate in the MCTC, but in all of the Central Valley.
Right.
So I just was curious to see how competitive and what's the likelihood of possibly going for a second cycle. Again, once you receive that first,
Yeah, I mean, of course, in the district, we're gonna always advocate for our local communities, understanding that the district for the most part is underserved. So we definitely will advocate for all of those communities, and we'll score them as high as we can. And once it gets to headquarters, then they look at it statewide. Here locally, we advocate for our communities. I have a personal connection because my wife is working for the Clean California program. And
Nice.
she's in the same household, so she works like some here work for us. Yeah, sure.
Because I'm still new to this, is that per project or per jurisdiction that applies? So say the county wanted to help the city, would that be looked at differently?
In other words, if you were to partner,
Or would that make it stronger or?
yeah, I mean, yeah, so if you're coming with, higher matching funds, yeah, it'll definitely, warrant, much more favorable. It would be much more favorable if it was more matching dollars.
and since you have that intimate connection, I would ask, take a look at the park outside there. And that's one of the things about Clean California. There's a big need. It's a community park. And there's a huge amount of need.
We're seeing a lot of parks being awarded throughout the state.
The last one, I think we got it for a river trail cleanup and what have you.
Yeah,
but
I recall that.
This is something that's huge here too. So if you want to partner up, let's get it.
Yeah.
Talk about that'd be great.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
We have another question.
Real fast. I've gotten several calls. I know the rain, we're blessed with it, but it creates potholes. And cities trying to do their best, counties trying to do their best, but I've gotten a lot of calls on downtown Yosemite, which is Caltrans. So we can just, I know I try to tell residents, we're trying to fill them as we can. The rain keeps coming and opening them up again. And we filling them as fast as we can. There's several, they're all over. So we just had this last storm come. We have another one coming in a few days. So if we can just kind of keep that on the radar.
Okay.
Yosemite.
Okay, yeah, I'll let all our office chief know, or of maintenance know that pothole issues on Yosemite Avenue. Okay.
Thank you.
We had the similar issues on Robertson Boulevard too, so if you may want to add that to the list.
Since you're at it, 99. 99 coming at northbound Avenue, 9 to 12. I mean, there's still some stuff in there. I gotta say that I went over the pothole somewhere in between there, so.
Probably doing it all the way
Yeah,
from
might as well,
152 all the way to the Fresno County line.
Is it 99 from?
I want to say it was from 9 to 12, heading northbound, somewhere in that.
Okay.
That's why Michael sent you today.
Write all these notes. Okay, perfect.
Anybody else? Online?
Hands raised at this time. Yes, no, there is actually a hand raised.
It was on from the consent calendar.
Oh, I see. So nobody online?
We can go back to it after,
There's a hand raised.
so we can take it now, or we can take it after you finish all these items to go back.
So there's no question to the Caltrans at this time, that item that we are on. Okay. Maybe Rob, any question? Supervisor White?
No questions and no comments from me in commissioner comments.
Thank you. That we're moving on to item number 11C on my right.
No comments, thank you, Leslie.
I just want to say how dapper Supervisor Poitras looks on camera here. He just kicking back and looking good. And also I wanted to, I see Janice Combs here today. You ought to consider that a large position on Measure T. We'd love to have you
I
on
was
there.
already on it.
Oh, okay, you're already on it.
District 1.
Okay, great. Well, can you think of anyone that might be, just give us a tap on that. Put some word out there. We need good people that contribute positively to the circumstances. Thank you. Thank you. That's it.
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Several weeks back, I think Patricia had commented on this, but myself, Commissioner Poitras and Patricia Gascory were at the state capitol advocating for our 99. Obviously, as you all know, 99 is in a great need of additional funding, not only for those certain gaps that exist where there's a 2-lane, it seems like bottleneck exists in certain areas coming into Madera and exiting Madera. But one of the biggest important highlights is that Madera, or the Central Valley, is known for carrying metric tons of produce that come in and out of Madera. And that's something that it's not really looked at very carefully at times, you know, and we can make comments on certain things as to why 99 is so important, but it's huge for us here in the Valley because we depend a lot on that industry. And we also want to consider safety for our drivers as they go in and out of Madera and or the Valley. But we had an opportunity to meet with several of the state legislators and, you know, again, advocating for the Madera County, more importantly, and also our partner counties that have similar issues that we face throughout the 99. I just want to highlight that MCTC is very active in trying to advocate alongside partnerships with other counties. So those are my comments. Mr. Chair, thank you.
Great comments. Thank you. I don't have anything to add to it. You did a great job. So we're moving on to, there's no closed session, item 12, and then moving to item number 13, adjourning this meeting. Oh, we have to go back to the online. I'm gonna open the comment period. Go ahead.
You may speak at this time.
Yeah, good afternoon. I've actually had my hand raised since item 9, so I'll go ahead and leave my comment now, and this was for 9B. And we just wanted to say that we request that the commissioners on MCTC do their part as city council members and county supervisors and MCTC commissioners to ensure that residents' priorities are equitably addressed by this year's MCTC allocations. For transit enhancement, the Measure T funding should go towards addressing the long list of unmet transit needs that we submit and resubmit every year. If needed, we can provide that list to MCTC again, and we'll submit an updated list as part of unmet transit needs this year. Additionally, existing communities whose local streets and roads have not been repaired or addressed with Measure T funds yet, despite paying into the tax for decades, should be prioritized this year. I'm thinking specifically of Fairmead, where residents have requested street repairs on Maple Street and throughout the community, and pedestrian safety infrastructure in front of Fairmead Elementary School for years. And Lavinia, where residents still need funding for repairs to Avenue 7, Road 24, Road 23.5, and many other local streets in the area. Thank you.
Thank you. I apologize for overlooking at the hand raise. So once again, thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No? So we take care of everybody. So with that, I adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Supervisor.